You are now politicking with Poe on PoPolitickin.com.
I don't know how y'all see it, but when it comes to the children, Wu-Tang is for the children. We teach the children. You know what I mean?
What's up, everybody? It's Seb Torgus from Chicago, a.k.a. Idol Boy, and you're listening on PoPolitic.
10.
Oh, shit.
Wait, hold up. I just woke up in the biggest state. Hold up. I think I'ma probably try to rave. Hold up. 12 naked women getting strange. Hold up. Police knocking at the door, so wait. Hold up. I just woke up in the biggest state. Hold up. I think I'ma probably try to rave. Hold up. 12 naked women getting strange. Hold up. Police knocking at the door, so wait. Hold up. Testing, let's get straight. Hold up, I am not a phony, I'm not fake. Hold up, this shit really happened yesterday. Hold up, let me get a minute to explain. Hold up, I was in the hills with some babes. Hold up, you know I don't like exaggerating. Hold up, I was really lit, it was crazy. Hold up, bunch of women by the pool, they naked. Hold up, rockstar lifestyle, I might never make it. Hold up, Bentley coupe, I might have been in races. Hold up, can't slow down, I'm on the interstate. Hold up, police get behind us, I'm like, wait. Hold up, I just woke up in the biggest state. Hold up, I think I'ma probably try to rave. Hold up, 12 naked women getting strange. Hold up, police knocking at the door, so wait. Hold up, I just woke up in the biggest state. Hold up, I think I'ma probably try to rave. Hold up, 12 naked women getting strange. Hold up, police knocking at the door, so wait. Hold up, police got behind me running plays. Hold up, think I might pull over, I should wait. Hold up, now we right in front of the estate. Hold up, one more time and hold up, wait. Hold up, it's a bunch of police in the crib. Hold up, man, I hope they don't look over here. Hold up, he looked at me like he was a fan. Hold up, then he winked at me, said here's the plan. Hold up, I'ma turn my head and walk away. Hold up, you just keep it down and I won't say shit. Hold up, you got 12 girls running around naked. Hold up, neighbors calling, all they said was wait. Hold up, I just woke up in the biggest state. Hold up, I think I'ma probably try to rave. Hold up, 12 naked women getting strange. Hold up, police knocking at the door, so wait. Hold up, I just woke up in the biggest state. Hold up, I think I'ma probably try to rave. Hold up, 12 naked women getting strange. Hold up, police knocking at the door, so wait. Hold up.
Welcome back to PoPolitickin.com, your home for self-help meets hip-hop. Make sure you download our app on iTunes, subscribe to us on wherever you're listening to. We're on iHeartRadio now. We just got added. I'm now politicking my homie Seb Torgus. How you doing, bro?
What's up, man? I'm good.
So tell us why music is important to you.
Man, there's a lot of reasons why, but one of the biggest reasons to me is that I think it helps me kind of let go and kind of puts me in a different space. So in other words, as a creative or, creative people, they have a lot of things or creative ideas built up in their minds. And sometimes it's hard to kind of get them all out. And I think music for me is a platform that allows me to tell my stories and certain life experiences and kind of get out these creative ideas, whether it's through melodies, flows, lyrics, or even production and certain sounds. It kind of allows me to, it's like a therapy for me,
All right.
Yeah.
And then I want you to talk about your background because I was checking you out. Like I saw you model, you was on a TV show. I saw you on Steve Harvey show. So
yeah. So, so I've been, I'm a very theatrical person. And in high school, I was doing a bunch of like theater shit and musicals and plays, and I was never really trying to do music. And I kind of just started doing it for fun. But after I graduated high school, I auditioned for this show on ABC. I'm not going to tell you the name because it's a bogus show, but basically I got on it and I got on a couple episodes and it aired, and that kind of like opened the gateway for everything else. So once I did that, I got kind of brought into the modeling world. I went out to New York, and then I did Milan and Paris Fashion Week about a year and a half ago. And yeah, man, so that's kind of how I really started. I started putting my foot in the door by just, meeting different people in the industry, and it kind of started with like TV to fashion, and then from there it kind of leaked into music, and that's kind of where I'm at now.
All right, and I know that name of that show, but I ain't gonna say nothing. I'm gonna keep it between me and you.
Listen, it was no disrespect to ABC at all, but it just, it was a great opportunity. I got a lot of money from it. I was able to pay off pay for part of my schooling, but it just wasn't really my vibe as far as show wise.
Then who are some of your influences? Like, well, who are you listening to right now?
Man, you would laugh because I'm all over the place. 1 minute I'm listening to, I love the whole SoundCloud like the rap wave. So I'm all into Uzi, this new kid, Lil Skies. I listen to Smoke Perp. I'll listen to all these guys and kind of double back. And actually, I'm a big Lana Del Rey fan. I'm a big Cher fan, a Billy Idol fan. Like, I love the 80s, so I'm into a lot of the 80s kind of pop rock kind of wave that happened. So I'm like a big Billy Idol fan. I'm just trying to really bring that kind of movement into 2018.
I said you kind of look like him. How you looking at your Instagram? You kind of got that look.
I'm trying to bring back this Idol boy wave, and that's really
Ain't he the one that sang that "Rock the Cradle of Love"?
Yeah, Rock the Cradle of Love.
Well, what a remix that did, man. What's up?
Man, so on some low key shit, he's got a song called Eyes Without a Face, and it's like one of my favorite songs, and I'm trying to not sample, but I'm really trying to remake it into a modern wave kind of 808 influenced song, because at the end of the day, like, I'm not really a rapper. I would kind of classify myself as kind of like a pop artist.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of what I like with the 80s is if you really listen to a lot of 80s music, they hit certain melodies and sing certain things. And I'm trying to bring back those melodies, but kind of throw like a Chicago 808 drum kit over it and kind of make it more modern, if that makes sense, And that's what I want kids. Kids are all into this new wave, heavy bass kind of style and flow. So I'm trying to like mix a little bit of both worlds, if that makes sense.
And then how would you define pop music?
Man, that's hard because pop is shifting. Like,
because pop is just short for popular, right?
Exactly, yeah. Pop is short for popular, and I think now with so many different genres and so many different artists pushing boundaries, like, I look at Lil Uzi, and he's a pop artist to me.
Right.
If you look at a lot of his
Amigos.
Records, Amigos are pop. Drake is pop. And a lot of people fight with me on that because, everyone has their own definition of things. But if you look at the numbers and if you look at commercially their success, like Yachty, like that's pop. And that's kind of what I'm aiming at is that genre. And also, like, Uzi's XO Tour Life, if you listen to his melody, it's really a pop record. I think with the drum kits in it, people kind of get confused and want to classify it as a certain genre. But, I mean, it's back to kind of like my sound and my project that we've been working on and this single that's going to come out. It's really, I would classify it as a pop, a pop rock, like a pop artist.
Well, you went to the next question. I was going to ask you about your current projects anyway. So yeah. So what you working on?
So basically the past couple of months, I've been really developing my sound and working on just really becoming a stronger artist and building up on my production and writing skills.
Mm-hmm.
So past couple of months I've been working on my first big studio album, and we're going to name it Idol Boy. And basically with that being said, we got I have like 30 records, but only probably 7 or 8 are going to make the cut,
Mm-hmm.
and we have 3 very strong singles, and we shot videos to all of them. So we're basically sitting on like a really big package that we have, and we kind of want to push these 3 singles out and really build this hype for this project, because right now there's a lot of hype for this, project I've been working on, album/EP, if you want to call it. And we're really just trying to, this is kind of my first big music project that people are kind of before it was kind of like, oh, Seb, yeah, he a model, or oh, Seb, he kind of like, he's just like a character, like he a character, or he's he's just kind of an entertainment character. And I'm trying to shift that into like that Seb, bro, he's like a singer, and that's really what this project is going to be.
So what are some things you do far as self-improvement?
Man, I would have to say learning. Okay, so my first one I would say learning how to be patient. I know that kind of sounds weird, but patience to me has really helped me self-improve myself as an artist and as a creative, and also as just like a human. Before, I never really had anyone to tell me, what being patient felt like, or the process of it. People don't really talk about it as much. And something I've learned over the past 4 or 5 months is really just how to be okay and trust the process and understand that it takes time. And now that I've done that, I've really become a stronger person, a stronger artist, and it's helped me self-improve as well. So that's like my first big one that I would say is help. Another thing is really to have fun with it. I know that sounds so corny and easy, but you would be surprised at, how many times people say they do it for fun and it becomes serious and it becomes more stressful than fun. Don't get me wrong, like, everything always stressful, but I really just try to remind myself that this is fun. I'm just trying to have fun, and that's kind of a way to help me become less stressed, if that makes sense, All
right. And then what's some of your interests outside of music? We was kind of talking about them, but let's go on a little bit more.
I would say fashion's a big one. I love TV. I love design. Those are kind of like the big 3 things, but fashion's obviously my really big one, and just kind of like design. If I were to go back to school, or if I make and get a lot of money, I'd go back to school and study design and learn how to like build like furniture and clothing as well.
Yeah, and I know this might sound, but I'm kind of naive to this. But so about fashion. So what is fashion?
Man, that's tough. Because kind of again back to
same
genres.
As pop.
For real. And back to the whole genre discussion. Like I said, everyone has a different perception and an idea of what fashion is. So I might have a different idea than my homie does. He might look at fashion as something else. But to me, fashion blends into everything. And I think right now with music, you see a new artist, right? You watch their video or you see their Instagram. What's the first thing you look at? Their style. I hate to say this, but if someone will send me this new artist, I'll go on their Instagram and I look at their page, and kind of the younger generation right now, the first thing we're looking at is how they're dressing, how they look, the image that they're giving off on their page, and that's fashion. And I think that it plays a really big role right now in the music too, because it's, labels and stuff and businesses and commercials, they want to see what artists look like. Sometimes it's not even, I hate to say this, but sometimes they don't even listen to the music. Sometimes they're just like all about image.
Or look. Yeah, because really, because you think about it, to be honest, they can create the music for you. They just need you to have a certain look. They create the music.
Exactly.
Shit, they can get the music behind you. They just need that look. They can't create a look though.
Yeah, and I know artists who got the music, but they have no sense of style or fashion, and that's when they're kind of like, man, well, you got this part done, now we got to get you kind of looking good. Right. It's a big part in a process as well, And I
was going to ask you, so what are some, I guess, your top 3 fashion tips you go by?
Man, I love jewelry, like accessory jewelry. I wear a lot of silver, like silver only. Man, another thing would be like pants, like jeans, like if you got some dope bottoms, that's a big plus. And I would say shoes. That's like a given. Yeah,
because like me, man, I'm like on some Steve Jobs shit. I can wear the same shit.
Yeah, that's dope.
I can wear the same shit every day. Like, I don't even care no more. So that's what I'm saying. I'm like,
honestly, that's another wave too. Like, I'm from LA. I know you're out there. So LA, you never know who someone could be in some New Balances, some busted jeans, and like a white tee with like a coffee stain on it, and they probably got more money than everyone in that restaurant.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what I think is cool too, is that fashion really could be anything. It really is anything.
But then it's funny how like the fashion and music all go together.
Say that again?
I said, but it's crazy how the fashion and music all go together.
Yeah.
How we influence, both of them influence one another.
Yeah, and it's been like that for years. I look back at the 80s and 90s, it's always been like that with any genre, with rock, with opera, with rap, with hip-hop, with R&B. You know, it's always been kind of like a brother-sister relationship with music and fashion.
All right. Now, I want you to talk about some, because a lot of artists, they don't know about marketing and promotion. So I want you to talk about some things you do as far as marketing and promoting yourself.
Well, see, I went to school and graduated with a marketing degree.
So, you money, huh?
Yeah. While I was actually going to school, I was kind of working on my first big debut project. So it was kind of helping me market myself and started to get myself to think in certain ways of how I want to be marketed to my audience or to the world. So just an important thing is you got to know yourself. You got to know what you want. You got to know how you want people to view your brand. So like the color, the style, like the texture of your brand. I know that sounds crazy, but like it.
No, so what do you mean by the texture?
So like by understanding what you want with your brand, like when I say texture, like for me, like when you think of leather, what do you think? Like I think of like rock, like punk, kind of a reckless attitude. So, you know, I'm thinking leather. I want my brand to be like this new wave rock kind of attitude. I know that sounds crazy, but it's something that I know what I want from my brand. I have this like vision of how I want people to view me, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. How is that?
You know, I'm trying to push boundaries and kind of step out of this box. Chicago's it's a big city, but it's small. And I think that there's a lot of open avenues for different new artists. And right now I'm trying to bring this 80s energy back into the city and really get this wave going.
You say you from Chicago?
Yeah.
Okay. How is it out there?
It's crazy out here, but, you know, I love it.
Oh. Is it bad like they say it is as far as the violence? Or is that just like,
man,
is that true or not?
Everywhere. You can be anywhere and it could be bad, you know. It's a beautiful city here. Unfortunately, there's a lot of negative things that happen, but that's just like anything, you know. And right now, it's just about staying positive and bringing new energy into the city.
All right. And then anybody that's listening to this interview, this is the first time hearing about you, let them know why they should check you out and listen to your music.
Man, check me out at Seb Torgus. We're really going to take over the world. I promise you. We're bringing new energy, positive energy. We on some real 80s idol shit.
What's up? And then what's the best piece of advice you ever received?
It's okay to fail. I know that sounds crazy, but I'm not scared of failing. I'm not scared of losing. Because I know I'm going to get this shit. And it's kind of a reminder that you just keep pushing. You know? When you start to become scared of failing, that's when you start thinking, what if? You can't think what if. You just got to think, I'm doing it.
Yeah, you just do it, huh?
Yep.
All right, what would you like to say to your fans?
Man, I love you guys. I hope you love me. And, man, new project on the way. It's going to change everything.
All right, man. I want to say thanks for coming through politicking with me.
Man, thank you.
Anything we didn't talk about you want to talk about?
Man, I think we got everything.
All right, what's your social media again and everything?
It's at Seb Torgus, SebTorgus.
PoPolitickin.com.
The PoPolitickin Show is brought to you by Audible. With over 180,000 titles to choose from, Audible is great for any continuous learner wanting to grow and expand their knowledge and insight. Go to www.audibletrial.com/POaudio and get an audiobook of your choice free with a 30-day trial. After the trial, your paid membership will begin at $14.95 per month. With your membership, you will receive 1 credit every month, good for an audiobook on Audible. Cancel before your trial ends and you will not be charged. So go to www.audibletrial.com/POAudio and download a free book by Tony Robbins, Grant Cardone, Napoleon Hill, Les Brown, Damon John, and more. Always remember that knowledge is power.